city administrative sites for 1 day a week. Before the school, the thought was that we could only do that with non-union employees. But the tactic that we have used, the method we have used, is we have issued union employees a layoff notice for 1 day a week. So that's just to give you an idea of some of the obstacles and hurdles that are out there for us. In the past, a mayor shut down, I'll just give you for instance, shut down the service department, locked the employees out of the operation, did not pay them, which achieved a short-term cash savings because he did not pay. However, those employees, that group went to arbitration and they won, so the city had to repay. So essentially, the residents lost days of the service department and still had to pay the employees for those days. But this time around, we said, look, according to the contract, we can lay off for lack of work or lack of funds. So we laid off every employee in a certain unit for that day due to lack of funds. So that's just to give you an example why we could tell the number of employees who have been laid off. Your thought that it might be better to do it by the dollar amount is because there are now really partial layoffs, right?
Right, okay.
So it's laying off employees in each department?
In each department.
Except police and fire.
Right. And in police and fire, Chief Cardilli's here, we have achieved cuts in costs in police and fire through, I described earlier, taking away commander titles and things like that, which increased pay for not much increased work. So we have done that in some cases and on the cost side. But on the revenue side, we've restructured our traffic patrols. And again, Mike referred to the fact that we spent about $7,500 to fund a traffic enforcement group, and that group has netted about $200,000 in cash. So it's a decent return on investment.
Is that the red camera?
No, that's not. This is real life.
Oh,
We
okay.
simply put officers on traffic patrol and made them stay there. It's not anything that are speed traps or anything like that, but we have officers who are dedicated to traffic patrol. And quite frankly, it's more similar than it has been to cities like Cleveland Heights and Beechwood and Shaker who do the same thing. And then it's a violator-funded activity.
And in the winter, I assume the service workers would not be reduced.
Right. Winter's a different season.
Right.
And of course, and you point out a good time, winter, there are more surprise or unplanned call-outs for service workers in the winter than there are in the summer. So certainly that would change. But again, we're keeping those costs down. And our employees do know that those who have been called out in past winters will still be called out, and we'll pay for that as we go. But overall, the predictable costs will be low.